Hello everyone. Our afternoon begins with the race for the future of cross-border payment, including Wen Le, regional expansion lead of Tether, Swayam Kali, developer relation at Inco Network, and moderated by Liu Wu, founder of Fizen. Blockchain is fundamentally reshaping how value process border faster, cheaper, and more exclusive. This session explores how global players are refining the payment landscape. Welcome to the stage.
Buổi chiều mở đầu với phiên thảo luận The Ray of for the Future of Cross-Border Payment có sự tham gia của Quỳnh Lê, Regional Expansion Lead tại Tether, Sway, Taylor, Develop Relation tại Inco Network, chủ tọa Lê Vũ, Founder tại Fizen. Thanh toán xuyên biên giới được nhận định là hình thức bởi blockchain nhanh hơn, phí tiếp thấp hơn, bao trùm hơn. Phiên bản này sẽ hé lộ các định thế toàn cầu đang xây dựng ý nghĩa các giá trị di chuyển. Xin trân trọng các mời diễn giả.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Leo Wu. I'm the founder and CEO of Fizen, and very nice to be with you guys today. So maybe a quick introduction about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me today. My name is Queenie. I'm a regional expansion lead for APAC at Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer in the world. Currently, we have the market cap is about 160 billion of USDT on the blockchain. We currently serving over 450 million users worldwide. And very recently, we just became the 18th largest holders of the US government treasury bills. So thank you so much for having me today, and looking forward to provide exciting insights about the cross-border payment in this panel.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Swayam. I do DevRel at Inco Network, and yeah, Inco Network is basically a privacy providing solution on existing public chains. Since last 5 years, we have been seeing there are many L1s, L2s being launched for providing native privacy solution. But as you can see, there are multiple stable coins, there are multiple RWA platforms that has already been launched on public chains. So basically, if you know, Ethereum has more than $400 billion per stable coin right now on L1. They don't want to move to this private chains, L1, L2, and abstract the liquidity. For last 3 years, we have been solving this abstraction liquidity, chain abstraction problem, and that's what we are here to solve. We are providing privacy on existing public chains. So yeah, great to discuss about one of the main use cases of privacy is payments. That's like really day-to-day life use cases. And that's what we are here to discuss about.
Cool. So you're from India, right?
Yeah, I'm from Mumbai, yeah.
Okay, so welcome to Vietnam and East Vietnam. So how do you feel about it?
To be honest, the food is very nice. I have tried chicken, I have tried pork, sticky rice and all. It's always nice to visit sea countries, stay here for 2 to 3 days, roam around beaches, go take like massage, have some good food. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So actually many of our users are using our app for massage. Yeah, because so a quick introduction about Fizen. So Fizen is a crypto payment wallet. You can use a crypto to pay for millions of utilities globally. So you can pay for hotel, airlines, and QR code scan, and many other things. So this is our first step. The next step is we integrate the RWA investment, and in the future lending and borrowing. Yeah, so we try the best to bring more utilities to the users and to the crypto space in general. Yeah. So I'm happy to be the moderator for this panel today. So the first question is, before that, I think the very hottest topic right now, right, is the involvement of the government. So what do you think about the advantages and disadvantages of like traditional companies, the big companies, they joining the Web3s? What do you think?
I think there's a fact that everyone is seeing that regulations are picking up around the world, especially very recently, the US President Trump has signed the Genius Act, for the first time recognized stablecoin in the States. And a lot of countries in the Asia regions also following that like footprint. We see like Singapore, Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, and a lot of other countries in Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, are currently trying to develop the regulations around stable coins and digital assets. Especially in Vietnam, very recently, there's the digital technology law. For the first time, recognized crypto assets is the legal asset in Vietnam. So, going back to the point, regulations are really picking up. So that's why this year we're seeing a lot of interest coming from the institutional side, including banks, non-bank financial institutions, cross-border payment companies, and fintech companies. There are a lot of, it brings to the point that it's not experiment anymore. So everyone is coming together to try to build the new financial infrastructure. So what were the traditional financial companies, financial system bringing to the table? So of course, they do have skills. Second, they have the compliance know-how. And the third one, they have the user trust. So I think that's definitely the advantage that they have because they've been operating in the market for a long time, serving millions of users around the globe. However, with the innovation and the quick development of the technology, we're seeing like even stablecoin like USDT or the Web3 native companies like Fizen here are like developing at the scale. So like I mentioned, Tether, USDT, we're currently serving 450 million of users worldwide. And we're not like coming from a traditional, we just bring the new concept to the table of stablecoin back in 2014. And because I think what we bring into the table is first, innovation. Second, we try to solve the real problem in the emerging markets where the traditional payment network is either inaccessible or inefficiencies. There are a lot of users like in Latin America or in the high inflation companies seeing like stablecoin or USDT as the digital dollar saving account, or they found an alternative way to settle money cross-border. So I think it also indicate the advantages of the financial institution who want to come to this space. There are two things that I want to mention. First, definitely lack of innovation. So definitely this space move very quick. So in order for them to join and also to take advantage and also to move quickly in this space, so they need to move fast. And also sometimes the legacy system don't really like, it's not easy to integrate with the new technology. Second is the local complexity. So for example, in Philippines, there are hundreds of islands and there are a lot of unbanked and underbanked people. So it's where the financial, traditional financial system couldn't really serve them. So that's why it creates a lot of advantages for the financial, traditional financial system to come to the table. Yeah.
And you? So
Yeah. So I think stablecoin space or payment space has two categories. One is traditional finance, the banks, the companies that has been doing this for like last 20, 30 years since the era of internet. And the second, I think, is the new builders who are coming to forward, representing their local area, local government, local nation, and building this stablecoin platform with the existing stablecoins like USDT, USDC, and using them. One thing that I've noted, like all of this are talking like institutions are coming, institutions coming. So the first wave or the first signal that we saw was Stripe acquiring Bridge for 500 million. They acquired Bridge. It's basically a cross-chain settlement platform. Then they acquired Privy, which is one-click UX for any normal user to get started with. Just log in and get started, and you can actually basically pay from Stripe itself. The one thing that I note, they will have advantage, but they won't have edge of treating users. Like if you think about Stripe, right, what they did in the very early days, they went to store, they literally went to store and they started just integrate this, just start with this, just start accepting payments, right? I think that's what local builders are doing too, just convincing that, hey, just you start accepting stable coins instead of like using your own local currency, so that you can fight against inflation, you can hold the global currency, you can have access to finance. But yeah, I'm still bullish on like local builders more as compared to traditional finance. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. And also in Web3, we have advantages of understanding the culture, right? So like Web3 culture is quite different from the traditional culture. And okay, the second question is, as the topic of this panel is the race for the future of cross-border payments. So what is your prediction? Who will win in this game? Like the government-backed apps, or like the fintech, traditional fintech, or the banks, or the Web3 startup? You think like who will win, or like a group will dominate the others, or like they will live happily together? Queenie?
Yeah. So I feel hands down it's gonna be government backed entity, the ones who have been established for last 20 years. But I think here there are small builders who have opportunity to do or build small startups that can serve local users, right? It's not like they have to serve like I see most of the startups going global and saying that, hey, will be next $1 trillion company or $2 trillion company, stable coin will be issuing stable coin with this XYZ bank and all. I don't think that matters. I think what matters is going niche, understand what your local users want, understand what problems they're facing, understand how your local government works, how you can work with them, and then do that right, like instead of going directly for global users. Because if you try to get everything, you won't get anything in this market. Because yeah, of course we have started with the same thing, right? We wanted to solve the problem of a very unique problem of like centralization, that banks stop your funds. There are platforms who takes like 2 to 3 days for payment settlements. So I think yeah, you should just get started with your local government. But traditional finance will always win because they have all existing users, they have existing infrastructure, they have partnered with existing banks and all. But yeah.
Yeah, Queenie.
I think a little bit different. I think the future of finance will be more collaborative. So I think let's break it down into different players in the market. And I believe that each one of them will have like different advantages and disadvantages, like I mentioned in the very first questions, right? So I think the bank will definitely co-develop the tokenized real world assets and also become the internal settlement for the future of finance with digital currencies. Um, However, like for example, fintech companies, they're also playing a good part in this game where they will win in the futures in terms of the user experience and the onboarding sector. So they will act as they will pretty easy for them to act as the easy gateway to onboard users into this space. And maybe like when it comes to the Web3 native companies, blockchain native companies, it can win in the form of the local global liquidity and the cross-border settlement, programmable settlement, and to build the infrastructure. So like I mentioned, we see maybe talking about stablecoin, we see it as the global correspondent network to provide the liquidity and to provide the charge for every companies, even like Web3 native company and the traditional financial institution to build upon to provide the solutions for the real problems of the users. So I think it will be more collaborative in the futures.
Yeah, I would like to like just to like clear my point, I will just like to give you example about India, right? There has been Stripe for last 10 years, right? There has been so many payment platform, but you should visit India and see the adoption of UPI. I think India in micropayments is the world's leading country, and UPI works because we have solved the very unique problem. UPI wasn't targeted towards big merchants like Reliance, Jio and all. It was targeted towards like users like me. I want to send 5 rupees, basically 0 point, like suppose $0.01, right? I can't afford Stripe. Stripe takes like some minimum transaction fees. Stripe takes their own fees. So that's why I'm bullish on local builders, right? If you are targeting for global payments, you just can't have focus on very niche users. UPI did the same thing. If you go to any local vendor in India, there is literally like a person who sells vegetables for 10 rupees can accept the payment, but he can't accept via Stripe, right? Because he can't afford to set up the infrastructure, set up the POS machine, can set up the like whole bank and all. In India, it's very simple. You wake up, you create an online account in bank, you go to market, you buy vegetables, and you sell it to other area. You start accepting payments by UPI. There is literally very few people who are using cash only. There are almost everyone is using UPI for micropayments. So that's why I think I am very bullish on startups that are being locally and serving local users that knows what their user wants, how they want to fulfill what they want, and they know how to work with local government. But yeah, as I said, right, I'm still very bullish on traditional finance because they have access to online infrastructure. If you go to any normal website, Stripe is the way to accept the payment. You just click, you just import a single API, link your bank account, do KYC and all, and you are done. But yeah, still micropayments, that's what one I'm bullish on.
Yeah, so for startup, going for niche market, right, is important, right? Yeah, but currently, like you see, like there's not so many crypto payment users, right? So for startup, it's too niche, and also when talking about payments, it's very thin margin industry, and even like in crypto payment is even lower. So beside niche market, you think any of other strategies that startup can adopt to grow?
Yeah, I think just to give like go back and understand the case study of UPI. Uh, they started with almost zero revenue, like all of the apps that you see, BIM, PhonePay, Google Pay, and all. They have moved tons of volumes, but they started very low. They didn't have profit. It's just that I think personally, payments is the industry where you work in volumes, not in amounts. So if you have millions of users sending $1 and you have 100 users who are moving $1,000, it's almost same because they are generating almost similar volume. It's just you need to make sure that whatever users you're like, you have your own target, right? If you want to work with big companies, of course the traditional finance user trade companies will have the edge because they have the trust and all. But if you want to work with local users, then yeah, you need to deal with volume, I will say. And yeah, of course there are other strategies like Google Pay has, like you show ads, you partner with existing companies, you show food you know Grab, right? Grab has this thing. May have like very small margin, but they have this ads, they have this all of these small features that make sure that users are stick to them. So yeah.
Right.
I think I would like to mention 2 points. So the first, looking at the macro trend. So we're seeing a shift, like a shift from speculation to the real world use case, and payment, like crypto payment, is definitely one of those. I think in the future, where regulations is more clear, and then where like in some countries or regions, when you hold stable coin, you don't have to go through the point that you need to up ramp and to make a payment, to go through a lot of like steps in order to really make the transactions. So it will, in the end of the day, it will increase the profit margin for the virtual asset service provider companies, like what you're trying to do, right? So that is definitely the first thing. The second point that I want to mention is that, of course, I know that you're very bullish about micropayment, but I always believe that the B2B payment will be the next $1 trillion opportunity. We're talking about here is trade finance, B2B payments, etc. So very recently, Tether have settled the 45 million of the trade finance transactions. So it brings a lot of benefits for the exporter and importer. because the transaction, the oil crude can be settled like instantly, like 24/7, and bring all the benefits of blockchain technology. And we really hope that this number will grow exponentially in the future, because we're seeing a lot of businesses across the globe start looking to settle their invoices in stablecoin USDT. And putting aside, so we also mentioned about India, right? So I know that a lot of Asian countries are exporting the goods to India. Previously, India is always the trade deficit country. It's very hard for you guys to open the USD account. So previously, Indian companies would need to rely on the companies, intermediaries, who have the USD account in other countries like Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, and pay the high FX markup or even SWIFT fees in order to settle the transactions. However, now with the virtual asset service provider, they can onboard with that company and then settle the payment in USDT. At the moment, it's not very ideal situation where the exporter cannot receive USDT yet, because either they are publicly listed company like the one in Taiwan, or either USDT is not recognized in the local market. So they can go to the bank, through the bank, and provide the standby LC and still settle the transaction in USD back to the exporter, where it allows them to still like do the tax refund, etc. So I think it has been going on, and I think that in the end of the day, the trade finance, even like e-sellers in Vietnam that's selling the goods on Amazon, Spotify, Etsy, they're willing to take advantage of this future financial options. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so and how about privacy? The governments normally want to do KYC to track like every activities of users, right? And actually, it is good for the people in general, right? Because to avoid scams, to avoid like money laundering. But on the other side, the people try all the ways like to protect their privacy. So, what do you think about it, and how to balance this?
Yeah, I think we have normalized public stable coins a lot. I'm not sure whether if you go to any uneducated crypto user and you integrate the crypto payment with them, and suppose they are doing doing thousands of customers a day, right? If you tell them that all the transactions, all the money that you are receiving and sending is publicly available, they'll be scared. There are so many businesses that should natively have privacy, right? There are so many people who do arbitrage and don't want to tell the competitor where they're taking the arbitrage, where they're settling. There are so many users who do businesses with private deals. Like if I'm a merchant, right? I am selling you a good for suppose $100 because you're my friend, and suppose I'm selling someone $120, and that user can literally come to Etherscan or like any other blockchain scan and see that, hey, I'm almost giving same funds to you and like same goods to you at very cheap price, and I'm giving him to him like in very high rate. He won't work with me. That's like how the traditional finance has been working. There has been a lot, like traditionally we have seen a lot of system since king years, right? That there has been some way to hide the privacy. There has been some encrypted notes that people are using. There are encrypted messages that people were using in businesses. I think with this public amounts or like normal ERC20s, we have normalized this a lot, that for traditional businesses it actually doesn't make sense. And the other side, I really like the thing that you mentioned, the anonymity thing, that currently all the people who wants privacy are either hackers or doing some shady businesses, right? Yeah, I also think the same. But at some point you need a use case where you have compile and privacy, like where someone has access to decrypt the information and to check whether whatever user is sending and receiving is right or not. So that's what I think Inco is doing. It's a compiler friendly privacy. You know sender receiver, you just don't know the amount. And people, whenever it comes to privacy, people always talk about like anonymity and the addresses that Ethereum has, or like any other chain has default pseudonymous identity. I don't think it's right now, because if you go to any wallet, if it has funds, it directly traces down to which central exchange was funded that wallet, right? Like suppose I sent you, you sent someone, someone take arbitrage and give it to a normal account. It's all traced down to this. They can always understand like which was the origin of funds and all. So I think, yeah, we need privacy. We need privacy in such a way that it's compliant friendly and work with local governments, with existing stablecoin issuers on existing public chains. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for your answers. So my last question, in just one sentence, tell me about the future of crypto payments.
You can start first.
I think it's already here. It's like I mentioned, it's the huge shift that I see from trading speculation to payments, real world use case. So I would like to break it down quickly into two target audience that crypto payments trying to solve the problem. So first, for the retail users, stable coins like USDT could be a form of savings. In the high inflation economies, stable coin could be a form of digital dollar saving account. Second, definitely you already mentioned, the traditional financial system is designed for large institutions, not for like small, medium businesses or family transferring like a $5, $200 back home to their relative in the country. So it's the future is about sending the money, like family transfer cross border. And next use case is definitely local commerce. In Latin America, in Africa, in MENA, we already see some of the shift to like of having stable coin like USDT to pay for the daily transactions, for the product services, or even receive the payroll in stable coins. The second target audience that crypto users gonna reach is definitely institutions. So we talk about trade finance, we talk about B2B cross-border payments. And I want to press one more time. I believe that is going to be the next $1 trillion opportunities because it can solve a lot of inefficiencies that the traditional financial system still has not yet resolved. And one more thing that I definitely want to mention is the future of tokenizations in real world asset and on-chain credits. So I think that the payments, crypto payment, like you mentioned, is going to be the local, global liquidity and the settlement layer to make all that happen in the future.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think almost similar. There is gonna be a section of merchant users, which are local e-commerce or just normal users who wants to do micropayments, don't care about the infrastructure, the behind like policies, banks and all, who just wants to get in, who just wants to use the app, send the funds back to home, receive it back, and wants the app builder to take care of all of this. Second is institutions, of course. They always with goal toward regulated stable coins who have white label history of doing right things, work with them, and yeah, start accepting payments via B2B and all. I think there is very unique third category that I have seen in last 1 year is agent to agent payments. So if you have seen YC, right, Y Combinator startups, the 80% of the startups are AI-based startups right now in Y Combinator. It used to be different. It used to be software as a service for like printing machine, some hardware, some good tech, and now it's for 90%, 80% of startups are AI companies. And the very unique issue that they are facing right now is giving these agents access to payments. Right? Suppose that you have an agent which collects the data, right, from web, and I have an agent which computes the data. For me, for my agent to work autonomously with you, we need to have some kind of communication, some kind of payment mechanism that, hey, I pay you 1 cent to get the data from you. You give me 1 cent to do the compute and give back the data, right? And the whole point of AI is should happen autonomously. Like there should be no human intervention. And this agent companies, like AI companies, actually started integrating credit cards. But the issue with credit cards is there is no cap, first of all. Like you can't decide, like agents are inherently not accurate. Like they work on accuracy. Like you have 90% accuracy, they have a chance of hallucination and all. So they can't work with traditional finance payment. They need some payment mechanism where there is this spending cap limit. It should settle immediately. Like if I'm sending you payment 1 cent, it should settle immediately on my side and your side so that you can verify. And that's where I see one use case being coming, agent to agent network, agent to agent payments. So I think in future, users won't be interacting with payment apps, but they will be interacting with agents who will find the right orders for them, who will find the right stablecoin they should have for their local government, local app. If you are going on Amazon, they will find the right currency for it. They will just say, hey, I want $100 worth of like book. And the agent should be able to find the right deal for them, right stablecoin, right provider, right. As you already see, there are comparison apps, right? Amazon, Flipkart, and all of this, Alibaba and all. It compares for you and give you the right deal. You just have to click accept on Apple Pay, and it directly does the payment for you, and the goods is delivered. I think that's where we are heading, where the payments will be also adapted by agents. And crypto is the best use case if you think about it. It settles immediately. It's publicly verifiable. You can always see it on chain. And yeah, I think that's one of the use cases that people aren't talking about and I'm more bullish on. There are already some IC companies that have started integrating crypto payments inside their agents, like Blind Pay and all. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I totally agree. And I'm also a big believer for crypto payments. So for one sentence, for my question, I think the future is here, right? The crypto payments. Yeah, so thank you, Quinn and Swazam, for a very interesting panel. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We take a picture. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.